So for my video, I used the questions from the assignment description just to guide me along. So I'm kind of answering those as I go through this. So as a learner growing up, I remember mostly getting grades for report cards and not many, if any, feedback comments. Definitely nothing like you've shown us here in class. I think in high school, even though I did not see too much more feedback on report cards themselves, there was more feedback given by teachers during their assessments or formatively right during class. I don't think using just letter numbers or for grades was very effective at letting us students know where we were in our learning, because it's just an arbitrary number that doesn't really have a meaning or an explanation behind it, right? For the students or for the teachers, it doesn't really mean too much. How are we as students supposed to know the details of where we need to focus on improving or where we're excelling with just a letter or number? I remember doing hands-on assignments and experiments, art projects and assignments that asked you to engage with picture taking or the land as the most memorable ones for me. As a student, I really figured assessment in schools was just the grades and numbers we got and not much more than that, but that's because that's all I had known and seen. Now, as in the education program, I understand that assessment is a lot more. It's feedback, right? It's giving an explanation to why you give grades. And I think if someone had explained that to me when I was younger, it would have definitely cleared a lot of things up. I think this assignment has more than anything given me more knowledge and a better understanding of what assessment is and how it has changed over the decades. Absorbing the knowledge from all the other presentations, I think, will give each of us future teachers pretty valuable knowledge on assessment, especially because we don't get, I believe, enough instruction on assessment during our degree. The way I hope to approach assessment in my future as a teacher will be to provide constructive and consistent feedback, not just to give letter grades or numbers, but to let our students know that what their strong suits are and where they can improve. I know that formative assessment is going to be a big part of my philosophies as a teacher, and letting my students know how they are doing and helping them get to where they need to be will be pretty important to me as a teacher. So one of the big things that was new information for me from my presentation was it takes so long for change to really come about in the education system, right? Through the 50s and 60s, progress was made in assessment, but it was not as significant as 20 years would really make it out to be, right? I think that's one of the tough things about education and being a teacher who wants to make some change, or make a little bit of an impact. Things take time and the process can be really slow, and sometimes you may not even see yourself the fruits of all your hard work, or but I think the important thing is at least to try, right? And set the example for others that you got to at least try to do it. I think this attitude of doing the right thing anyways, even if you won't see reward or recognition for it, is an important trait that should be taught to our students. From the other presentations, there were two things that really stood out to me. First was the presentation on feedback, so the evaluative, descriptive, informal, formal, etc. I found that presentation contained a lot of relevant information for myself as a teacher and ways I can work on my professional skills. Getting some guidance and instruction on how to assess and evaluate different types of feedback is valuable to me because I want to be a teacher who's able to assess in different ways. In my EDRG 310 course, the reading course, this semester I'm taking, the textbook emphasizes that teachers should have a variety of assessment tools and methods, and I believe this extends to all of education. So if we all think back to our younger years, we can all remember like different and unique types of tests or problems we had to solve, but the grades and numbers really all start to blur together after a while. I think if more educators committed to giving descriptive feedback, then I believe more students would be able to improve in the areas they aren't as strong in, while allowing them to build confidence that they can get better, right? Through effective feedback, we could enhance our students' learning and then promote a growth mindset. And then last and second was the section on formative assessment during the presentations. So for the type of teacher I want to be, formative assessment is going to be an important element of my teaching methods. I'd like to be a teacher who puts the effort into checking in with students throughout the activities, throughout the day, throughout the semester, checking their understanding, answering questions, asking questions, because I think it's important as a teacher to know where your students are, but also important for the students to see that their teachers still invested in their education and their success, always checking on them. The presentation compared formative assessment to practice, while summative is kind of like the game, and I think that fits well because through formative assessment, like practice, our students can just get better and understand with more detail what they need to improve on over the whatever timeline that might be, day, over the semester, over the year. And that's my video. Thank you.